association with Finolex has been almost 38 years now. I joined Finolex in 1983 when our founder, Mr. P.P. Chhabria, had just started the operations and the turnover was only 2 crores. But what I distinctly remember is even at that time when we were a small company, Mr. P.P. Chhabria had a very clear philosophy. We must give back to the society more than what we receive from the society. And that germ of, today we call it corporate social responsibility, CSR, but that germ of giving back to the society was always there in the Finolex philosophy, in the Finolex way of working. But when the mandate came, we realized that a more structured approach would be beneficial to Finolex. So when we formed the CSR committee, and I was a part of that committee, we had meetings with Mukul Madhav Foundation team, and that is when we decided that yes, we will direct all our CSR, not I would not say all, but most of our CSR funding or our CSR amount towards projects which will be monitored and implemented by Mukul Madhav Foundation. It is incidental that they are part of the family or started by the Chhabria family. More than that, we definitely as directors felt that the way Mukul Madhav Foundation is being run very transparently, every rupee is accounted for. So we had a lot of confidence in them. We have both grown from strength to strength. As business, we have definitely benefited from our association with Mukul Madhav Foundation because the positive vibes which they have created all around have definitely helped brand Finolex. So it's not just giving money and forgetting about it. From a business perspective also, as a board, we are very happy the way the projects are implemented and the projects are portrayed to the community at large in carrying out something like CSR activities. And this is when when I was managing director, I remember initially we used to get some requests from maybe outside Pune, and we used to forward them to Mukul Madhav Foundation, and that is when this association started building, and then the Mukul Madhav Foundation team would engage very closely with the regional head or the regional team, do the need assessment, whether the beneficiary is really in need of the funds or in need of help, whether by giving that help that would transform their lives, to follow up on the project. Suppose we do a project and it ends in say 4 months, but they continue to follow up whether the beneficiaries are really carrying out whatever was intended, whether they have really benefited, and those reports come to the board of Finolex Industries regularly, which is very unique. Otherwise, normally it would have been we would have written some check and forgotten about it. So it doesn't happen that way. So overall, it's been a great association with Mukul Madhav Foundation. See, as a member of the CSR committee of Finolex Industries and as a board member, it is our duty to see that the amount which we spend is spent properly, wisely, accounted for properly. So we could have tied up with any other organization, not necessarily Mukul Madhav. Yes, it is incidental that Mukul Madhav Foundation was started by the family, but that has not been because we have a very professional board. We have a lot of independent directors who have a say in the matters, who sit in the CSR committee and take decisions. But I must say every one of us has been happy working with Mukul Madhav Foundation for 2-3 reasons. One is total transparency. We have zero doubt about whether our money has been used for the purpose for which it was given. And it's not just we as Finolex. So every organization which has worked with Mukul Madhav Foundation would have the same opinion. The advantage of working with Mukul Madhav Foundation, that it is such a well organized team, that the overheads are very low. There have been instances, I mean, in fact, if you take the industry standard, most NGOs spend 5%, 10% of their collections on administrative expenses. In the case of Mukul Madhav Foundation, that amount is extremely low, extremely low. One, because they have a very tight control on the entire operations, and two, because they also have this knack of pulling in the resources from other people. Unique advantage of working with Mukul Madhav Foundation is the way they follow up on the projects. It's not just, as I said, giving the money and forgetting about it just to fulfill a CSR mandate. It doesn't work that way with Mukul Madhav Foundation. Their team continuously follows up with the beneficiaries, even months, years after the project is complete. And in fact, there have been many instances in the field of women empowerment or even education. In fact, it has happened in many cases that once the beneficiaries have been given the help which was initially thought of, the Mukul Madhav team and the Finolex team have worked with them to see what more can be done to make them financially, economically independent. So that is the advantage of working with a dedicated team like Mukul Madhav Foundation. One of them is Mission Cerebral Palsy. And the way this mission has taken off is really amazing. Starting from a germ of an idea which Mrs. Ritu Chabria had, and then working relentlessly to bring that into execution and to see that it really benefits hundreds of beneficiaries is really amazing. The managing trustee herself and the team worked with the local authorities to pull in their resources, because it's not just Finolex trying to do something. So to bring those patients preferably to the nearest public health center or wherever treatment can be given. So it was just, it started with identifying the need, then bringing them to the right place, then training them, then pulling in other hospitals. So it's become now it has become a huge movement, and because of them now more patients are coming out in the open, and we are able to help them. Another very big project which Finolex and Mukul Madhav Foundation have carried out together is starting off the Mukul Madhav Vidyalaya in Ratnagiri. Finolex had set up this plant in Ratnagiri in the backward area of Pavas, and the community around the plant was very poor. It was fishermen, tribals. They did not have access to good education. So some of them would go to the local schools. Not many of them could afford to go to proper Ratnagiri town for good education. And this is when Finolex thought of starting a school in this backward area. And when Mukul Madhav Vidyalaya was formed, and over the years we are very happy as Finolex board members to see the progress made by this school, and these children whose parents were most of them uneducated or had absolutely no exposure to English. It is very heartening to see these young children speaking English, going out and winning competitions in art, and they are completely trained in not only languages, mathematics, science, but also in martial arts, dance. So they develop completely as good citizens. So starting from a small batch of students way back 10, 12 years ago, today Mukul Madhav Vidyalaya also has junior college. So another very satisfying experience is the work carried out by Mukul Madhav Foundation and the Finolex team during the COVID pandemic. When most of corporate India was shut down or staying indoors, this team went all out, all over India to help out the needy. Mission Give with Dignity was a great success. Thousands and thousands of food packets were delivered across India. It helped so many poor families. And it's not just giving the food. Our team really reached out to find out the need in various communities. It is really great to see that the legacy of our founder, late Mr. P.P. Chhabria, has been carried forward so well by Mrs. Ritu Chhabria. And now the third generation, Gayatri, is also on board. And together Ritu and Gayatri are doing great work in carrying out this legacy of social work. Talking particularly about Managing Trustee Mrs. Ritu Chhabria, the kind of dedication she has and the kind of passion she brings into the CSR activities is matchless. Every little aspect of every project is personally looked into by her. Of course, the team is very good, the team is well trained. Every person, every human being has this desire to do something good for the society. But many times there are no outlets, there are no channels to do this. And through Mukul Madhav Foundation, when they are able to contribute personally in a small way, in a big way, to so many community service activities, they also feel very happy. And I think that from a human relations angle, I think it's very good for the Finolex as a company also, because employees, when they are happy, because it's not just giving money and keeping them happy. When they contribute something beyond their work, they also feel very satisfied, and that brings up the morale of the whole team. Of course, all this work in CSR could not have happened without total support and involvement of Mr. Prakash Chhabria. As I said, the legacy of CSR started by our founder Mr. P.P. Chhabria was completely passed on to Mr. Prakash Chhabria. Prakash himself is deeply involved and not only financially but also emotionally lends support to all the activities of CSR as a chairman of Finolex Industries, and whenever we engage with Mukul Madhav Foundation, he has full support, and I think that his personal passion of CSR or of social service also helps the entire team. As a team, we are working on almost all the verticals, all the 16 verticals of Government of India and UN Sustainable Development Goals, which very few corporates are doing. There are certain verticals like healthcare where there is abundance of funds. Most corporates do give for healthcare, or even for that matter education. There are many other like women empowerment, girl education, sustainable living, environment. These are aspects where not too much of work is done, and this is where we are very happy that through Mukul Madhav Foundation we are able to work on these verticals also. Particularly talking about women empowerment, I believe that goes a long way in improving the society. So girl education, women empowerment, and third part, of course, environment. Environment also, the way global warming, we all see signs of global warming, and every little step taken towards improving the environment, the sustainability, obviously goes a long way in helping the country as a whole, nation as a whole grow. And we are happy to make our small contribution in these areas. It's very difficult to single out one project, but if I have to, one project which is concerning water, and Finolex is all about Finolex pipes is all about water. So is where we brought water to a village called Rede in Solapur district. This village and the vastis around that had a population of 3,500, and they had access to water only for 2 or 3 months in a year, and the rest of the year they had to run helter skelter for getting drinking water and for basic water for their utilities. So with the help of the local dealers and we worked with the community to identify the need, and then we erected several cement nala bunds to retain the water, and slowly the water started accumulating, and the way it benefited the entire community was really very heartening. These people having access to water 12 months a year were very happy. The agriculture started flourishing. Many residents of the villages had migrated outside to seek work as labor and unskilled labor. They came back to the villages, they started engaging in agriculture, and the entire community flourished. So one project which really gave us satisfaction, this was one of them at Rede village in Solapur.